This video, hard to watch. Men and women across America who are homeless can often find themselves very vulnerable to violence. In fact, Florida has some of the highest rates of violence against the homeless.
Well, that video is tough, but Florida does have one thing in place to protect the homeless population that very few states in the country do. So tonight, Fox 4 Investigates continues our ongoing series called The State of Hate, with a look at the laws protecting our most vulnerable population.
Investigative reporter Ryan Kruger shows us this movement all started because state leaders took a stand against these types of attacks.
The silent surveillance video spoke volumes to the daily struggles of Florida's homeless women and men, including Miami's Norris Gaynor. In 2006, two teenagers, Thomas Doherty and Brian Hooks, who are still in prison to this day, killed Norris Gaynor. During a self-admitted alcohol-fueled rampage, they also beat two other homeless men. Nearly 2 decades later, police say a violent attack by these three suspects outside the Fort Myers Library left a sleeping homeless person badly hurt. No arrests have been made.
We've seen a number of cases where the homeless individuals have been targeted, and it's a unique class that I think hate crime legislation could address.
That's exactly what happened in 2010, when then Governor Charlie Crist signed one of the first laws in the country that considered crimes against the homeless to be a hate crime.
It largely is due to the large homeless population in the state.
Dr. Seth Fallick, who studies hate crimes and criminal justice at Florida Atlantic University, says Florida's laws could be a national model.
Warrant greater conversation on the national stage in terms of being a population that should be served by hate crime statutes.
A 20-year study from the National Coalition for the Homeless found more than 1,800 incidents of violence against homeless people. Florida had the second most in the country during that time, behind only California.
We have a wait list every day. It's hovering around 120 people.
Steve Bruder is the CEO of St. Matthew's House, which operates 2 homeless shelters in Collier County.
It's a very vulnerable group that we're talking about.
You're alone, you're on guard, you're vulnerable. And there's a lot of mental illness. I think there's more mental illness among the homeless population and more drug use. It's a very vulnerable population that is fearful.
So fearful, Bruder says, many no longer reach out for help.
You think your average person sees somebody's father, somebody's son, somebody's daughter?
There's a detachment generally in society. It's We've set apart that class that, well, they're homeless. And lots of times society says, well, there's nonprofits that will help them. There's somebody that will help them. So that's our job.
The National Coalition for the Homeless says violence against homeless individuals will continue unless there is true accountability for crimes against the homeless. Ryan Kruger, Fox 4 Investigates.